All right, hi guys. This is Sheen with Think Harder.
This is Johnny.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about electric cars, and so I did a little bit of research and just found some interesting things, and we're just going to talk about it. So now electric cars is the most popular thing in the automotive industry now, and
Thanks to Tesla.
yeah, thanks to Tesla,
Yeah.
and it's just interesting. It's like, when Tesla first started,
Yeah.
they're saying like, you're an idiot. You're
Yeah.
gonna try to make an electric car. No one's gonna want an electric car. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be. It's gonna be slow.
Well, he made
blah,
it
blah.
sexy. That's
Yeah, exactly.
he made it
Well,
powerful.
I think he almost had to. Like, you couldn't make
Yeah.
an electric car that looked like a normal car. You
Yeah.
had to make it look different to
Yeah.
stand out, so people would look at it and draw attention to it.
Yeah.
So he had, like, if he made the car just look like a regular car, then people would be like, well, I don't see anything special about it.
To be honest, I would buy it. If it was like a regular car, but if it's efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never have to buy gas.
Right.
And my only complaint with it now is just the range.
Right.
Like a long trip, especially in Texas.
Right.
I know they have a station, but who wants to stay there for 40 minutes to
Right.
charge your car?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only drawback.
Yeah, so there's two different types of driving. There's in-town driving,
Yeah.
and the electric car is completely fine with in-town driving because
Yeah.
you're gonna drive at the most maybe 100 miles in town. At the most, typical drive, I think, for typical American to and back from work is probably
Yeah.
less than 40 miles.
Yep.
So in-town driving, you're fine, and you come home, you plug in at home. Basically you have a gas station or a fuel station
Yeah.
in your home. So it's different than driving an ICE car, internal combustion engine car, because you don't have a fueling station at your house.
Yeah.
So every morning you leave your house with a full tank of fuel
Yeah.
in an electric car. But yeah, long distance driving is the problem.
I feel like especially in Texas, people drive from San Antonio to Dallas, San Antonio
Right,
to
yeah.
Houston regularly. I mean, that's a big.
Yeah, so it depends on how you drive. I mean, if you're the type of person that drives from San Antonio to Houston, from Miami to Orlando, from LA to San Francisco,
Yeah.
and you're one of those people that don't stop, you just drive straight through,
Yeah.
don't get an electric car.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to drive straight through.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, with a gas car, you can, because a gas car can hold like 25, 35,
Yeah. Easily.
sometimes 40 gallons of gas. So you
Yeah.
have a lot of fuel that you're carrying with you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that electric vehicles don't. They aren't able to carry that much power, because the battery is anywhere from 50 kilowatts to 200 kilowatts at the high end.
Yeah.
So it's efficient and right now Tesla is pushing 400, 500 miles on their Tesla truck. They're reporting that it's going to be able to go up to 500 miles.
Yeah.
And on their Model 3, they're pushing like 300 miles, and so 250 to 300. So they're getting there, but you're not going to be able to drive from
Yeah.
Houston to Dallas or anything like that. You're going to have to stop. And if you're that person that doesn't want to stop, then
Yeah.
it's not for you. But if you're like the most Americans, I mean, you drive somewhere, you stop, you take a bathroom break, get some food, and
Are they gonna have food at the charging station? Are they gonna have bathroom at the charging station? That's another.
yeah. I mean, they're in places that are. I mean, they're on the road and usually on the highway. So I mean, if you plan your trip according to where you need to charge,
Yeah.
and Tesla has a map and it tells you where you stop and where you can stop and how long you have to charge.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have to sit there and charge for 40 minutes. Like a 10-minute charge could get you to where you need to go to the next.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, yeah, but without a doubt, long distance driving is still the Achilles heel of electric vehicle.
Yeah.
But Tesla they're coming out with a report next year, beginning of next year, and they're going to talk about their battery technology.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reports out there. They're working on a technology, newer battery, a new composition of battery that can do 1 million miles. I mean, the lifetime of it could be 1 million miles.
Oh, okay. Let's say, wow.
So I mean, your vehicle could run for
forever
for 1 million miles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tremendous.
That's amazing.
leap.
Yeah. But sometimes I feel like he exaggerates a little bit, though.
Well, I mean, it's not exaggeration. It's like all companies say that. It's like when you buy
Yeah.
your car, it says, you're going to get 25 miles per gallon. Well,
if you do the ideal drive.
yeah, if your tires are
Yeah.
at the correct PSI,
Yeah.
if you have like no weight in the trunk,
Yeah.
if the wind is not blowing,
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not technically exaggeration. It's just ideal conditions.
If it's million, I mean, if it's 500,000 mile, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, even currently,
Yeah.
I think even currently their current batteries are rated at least I think 300 million miles. So as far as the lifetime of the battery,
You said 300 million?
no, sorry, 300,000.
1,000 miles. Okay.
So yeah, as far as the lifetime of their battery,
Yeah.
it's not an issue.
I like reliability, you know.
Mhm.
If it's low on cost,
Right.
you know, if it's I can't have dents. I mean, when they did the whole truck thing,
Oh, the
and
truck,
hitting
yeah.
it with the, you know,
Yeah, that's
sledgehammer.
great. That's great for like if you
Yeah, stuff like that I like.
in a
Yeah.
parking lot and
Yeah.
somebody opens the door and hits it and nothing
Yeah.
happens. That's
For me, if
Yeah,
it lasts my
never worry about-
lifetime, that's a dream for me. I buy one car and that's it.
yeah. It's like every time when you buy a new car, you
Yeah.
have to worry about
yeah.
it getting
A dent or
dented
stuff like
something.
that. Yeah.
That's why.
That's one of the reasons I don't buy new cars, to be honest with you. Like
that's
that.
why I like driving my piece of crap little Prius.
Exactly,
It's
same
like,
here.
Oh, it's another new dent.
Exactly. Yeah. I put some coffee on my floor. Oh well, you know.
Yeah.
you know.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
it's interesting that so at the beginning of the automotive industry.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this, but like in the 1900s, 40% of electric vehicles were electric at that time, and and that was the time where it could have went either one way or the other. It could have went gasoline. It could have went electric.
Yeah.
And the technology was new and inefficient on both sides.
Yeah.
And for one reason or the other, obviously the technology went with gasoline, with fossil fuels.
From what I hear, like they're just able to create a cheaper car, an electric car. I think it was like a significantly cheaper. Like the gas car was like almost half the price as electric cars were.
Yeah.
So I think it came down to like the price, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, from what I saw,
Yeah.
it was actually easier to build an electric car because everything was at that time was going towards electricity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's actually very few things that used gasoline at that time in the beginning, in the late 1800s. So what I saw was that like the first practical automobile was built in 1835, and it was by a person named Thomas Davenport, and that was electric. And then the first actual gas engine didn't come around until 1870.
Yeah.
So a while behind. And the first production car was by Carl Benz of Mercedes-Benz in 1885. That was like the first production car
Yeah.
that was able to be kind of mass produced at the time. And so some more history. In 1900, the first diesel engine was created. So I mean, the first gasoline cars, they were inefficient. Like nobody really wanted. Like people wanted their horse and wagon more.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a hand crank the. I mean, there's a video that they show how you hand crank it, and like you had to get out and crank it, and like kind of like a lawnmower, like a 50-year-old lawnmower to start.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't go too fast, you know.
Yeah, and like women weren't able to crank it. They didn't want to do that. So the electric vehicle was more popular at that time with everybody, including women. So a lot of vehicles at the time was electric. And then I came up with some research. So also in 1898, the first Porsche was an electric car. So all these companies, they were in electric cars when they first started.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Henry Ford, and I read an article that it was talking about Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, and they were actually working together on an electric vehicle to be mass produced, and that instead of the Model T, the Ford Model T. And there's like a lot of rumors. There's no official documents is why Henry Ford decided to go gasoline instead of going with the electric. And there's different rumors out there. One of them is like the electric vehicle was heavy and then it flipped over because it had to have batteries.
Yeah.
And so it was a safety issue. And like they had a car flip over, and that would not be good for publicity and for for Henry Ford. And then there's other conspiracies out there and saying that the oil industry got involved, that they want people obviously to use fossil fuels and gas.
Just like any company, if you're selling oil, then obviously you want.
Right. So I mean, there's no document that's actually true, but it's
From what
it's
I
a possibility.
remember reading, it was just gas was so cheap. Gas was really cheap, and they were able to cheaply make gas car compared to electric car. In the end, it came down to which was cheaper.
Right.
And I think gas car just won.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's multiple reasons why one took off and one didn't take off. And I mean, maybe the technology of the battery wasn't there at that time, and it was easier just to produce a gasoline engine. But anyways, I mean, Henry Ford produced the Model T. He mass produced it, and that was the first like mass.
How were they charging it? That's one of the questions kind of popped in my head.
Back then, I assumed just like electricity in the house. I mean, there was electricity at that time.
Yeah, it was not as convenient as it is today.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the same point, I mean, you got to think this is the beginning of the automobile period.
Yeah.
So the gasoline automobile was not efficient, and it wasn't convenient either.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't gas stations at every corner, right? So neither of them were convenient. So it was like one took off and the other didn't.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, I think the reason why gasoline took off is because Ford made it take off.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ford was the one that was able to figure out the assembly line and mass produce these things.
Yeah.
Really, it just takes money and research and somebody willing to do it. Because I mean,
I feel like every time like gas price goes up a lot, people talks about it. In the 70s, gas price it spiked up, and they'd be like, "Oh, you know what? Let's talk about the electric."
Right.
If the gas is continue to be cheap, then I don't think you ever have. I think one of the reasons it's taking off now again. I think gas has been pretty high for a while. Now,
well,
even like late 90s, it wasn't that much, like $1. I remember paying 89 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
If it was still 89 cents a gallon, 99 cents a gallon, I think
Yeah. The electric vehicle is just more efficient, so it just uses less electricity to do the same amount of mileage that a gasoline vehicle does. But I mean, even now, when right now gas is about $2 or less than $2 a gallon here. So gas is really cheap right now, but electricity is really cheap also. I mean, we're paying in San Antonio, it's about 9 cents a kilowatt. In California, it's like 20 some cents, 23 cents a kilowatt.
But electric car is still pretty more expensive than.
Yeah.
So that's another.
So anything new and to prove a concept is expensive, but the prices are going down with the Model 3.
Kind of wish like Tesla produced like a lot cheaper.
Master plan was number one, proof of concept. So it was a vehicle that was not mass produced, so they didn't make a lot of it. So because they didn't make a lot of it, they had to charge a high amount. So their first one was the Roadster, and I think it was like 200 or 150,000. So that was just a proof of concept that people wanted electric cars. And then after that, they made the sedan, the Model S, and that's about, I think, started about 100, 120.
Yeah, still, I mean,
but it was just moving down the line. So now the cheapest is the Model 3, and you could get one for 35,000.
Yeah.
So now you're hitting the territory of the average, anywhere from 25 to 35.
Yeah.
And it's still not like a Honda Civic cheap.
Yeah.
But
they should. I don't know why they don't.
Well, the whole thing is you have to make expensive cars before you can make cheap cars, because the expensive cars pay the way to make cheaper cars.
Yeah.
Because you make cheaper cars, then you don't have the money to make more expensive cars. They went the other way to make expensive cars, and from the income from those expensive cars to make cheaper cars.
Yeah.
And that's that was their master plan. So I think electric vehicles are coming, and it's exciting to be around and see where
I hope the other companies start competing with Tesla.
Yeah,
and that's what I want to see, and I want to see Toyota make it,
Yes. So I mean, it's funny. Like you would think, like Tesla will be just destroyed by these big companies that have been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, because like companies like Toyota, GM,
Yeah.
it's hard for them to transition into an electric vehicle.
Oh yeah, they have to change all the equipment. It's like starting over.
Yeah,
You know, they already have all the assembly line for other cars.
right.
And,
They already have their model for their ICE cars,
yeah.
but also they already have investors investing in their current model,
Yeah.
and people don't like change. Like people feel like they feel like, oh, we're making money
Yeah.
with
Why?
this way. Why do we want to make a vehicle that's going to cannibalize our other vehicle?
Yeah.
But it's much easier for Tesla because they're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
They're from the get go. They're like, we're just going to make electric vehicles, and
Well, if they're successful eventually, I mean, each company has to. You know, why would you?
yeah, eventually you have to.
Yeah.
Either you're going to be like Nokia, you know, like
Yeah.
when the iPhone came out, they're like, oh yeah, that who's going to want to pay
Yeah.
like whatever it was, $250, $300 for this phone when ours was like
Yeah.
$100, right? And Nokia didn't get with the program, and so
Yeah.
they're pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So either you get with the program or you're
Yeah.
going to be wiped out.
So what do you think about the truck? Are you gonna get one?
Yeah, I love. I mean, I love the truck. I think it's the design of it. I mean, you could argue, yeah, it's.
I didn't
it's
like it at
weird,
first,
it's-
but the more I look at it, I like it. You know, it's
Yeah,
kinda,
it kind of grows on you.
it kind of grows on you. Yeah, it's very. But my only issue is the only one I can probably afford was the $40,000 one, but
Hmm.
that the limit is to 250 miles, which is
Which is fine for
in city. But if I'm gonna pay that much for a car, I want to take a long distance. And,
Yeah, well, I mean, if
yeah.
in those times you could just rent a car.
That's true. But yeah, I guess all the money I'll be saving from gas, maybe
Yeah,
they'll work it out somehow. You know?
yeah, and the competition. There's just no competition for Tesla right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're producing a truck that they're trying to start at $40,000.
Yeah.
Their competition is Rivian, and their truck starts at $70,000.
Yeah.
So
Well, I heard some criticism though. They're saying Elon Musk, promises a lot of things he's not able to produce, and
Mhm.
there are some people out there they really doubt by 2021 he's gonna.
but if you actually look into the history,
Yeah.
he has produced everything that he promised. Not on time,
Yeah.
but he
did
has.
it, Yeah.
He promised a $35,000 car,
Yeah.
and you could buy a Tesla for $35,000 right now.
Yeah.
And interesting to know that you can't online. If you go, I think the cheapest Tesla Model 3 is probably like 37 or 40,
Yeah.
but you have to like call them and like special order
Yeah.
a $35,000 Model 3. So you can buy it.
Yeah.
And that's what he promised, and he did deliver on it.
Yeah.
And he did deliver the Model S, and other than his Tesla company,
Yeah.
his SpaceX company, he promised that he was going to use reusable
Mm-hmm.
rockets, and they're doing that now. So he does deliver on what he says,
Yeah.
but he doesn't deliver on time. That's the thing.
Let's go back to the point, like the Toyota, if they wanted to produce electric car, they have to change all their equipment and
Right.
factories. I mean, they have a hybrids now, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
so-
have a hybrid, right?
Yeah, so Toyota has hybrid,
yeah,
and Toyota also what they're investing in is hydrogen, and that's a whole different topic that
Yeah.
we're not going to get into. So Toyota is going the opposite way, and they're going with hydrogen vehicles. We'll see.
actually, I read something about. I mean, that's pretty efficient, and
Yeah.
all you need is water, right? I mean, it'll run on water.
No, it doesn't run on water. It produces water
Oh, after
as an exhaust,
exhaust. Okay,
but
see.
it runs on hydrogen. So that's a whole different topic.
But they break
that-
down the water, right? That's how you get
They
the
break-
hydrogen.
the water is used to make electricity,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that
So
is-
you're putting water in it.
No, you're putting hydrogen. You're putting a gas in it. It's hydrogen gas. And then it uses the hydrogen gas to produce electricity,
Oh, I see. And then your byproduct is the water.
and the byproduct is water.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Toyota is going with hydrogen, and they have a hydrogen
The
vehicle.
hydrogen gas, that's volatile though.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's.
you're trying to push me into the topic,
Yeah.
but yes,
Yeah.
but there are ways that they're able to manufacture and be safe.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. So, but so other companies. I mean, the only other companies that are producing it. I mean, I think BMW has one. Nissan has their Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So BMW i3,
Yeah.
Nissan Leaf, Kia has one, and so, but all of them, if you look at them, I mean, they're not in the competition of Tesla vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really short range. They're, I mean, they just
Yeah, the short range things. I mean, only way you can beat them, I feel like their weak is the range.
yeah.
You know, if you
so
could.
so it's anybody can make a vehicle. It's
Yeah.
not hard to make a vehicle.
Yeah.
What's hard is the battery technology.
Yeah.
So I mean, vehicles been made by many companies, so anybody can make that vehicle.
Yeah.
The drivetrain, the body, the frame, that's all
Yeah.
simple. The technology is the battery.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the technology. That was the difficulty from the get go in the 1900s. Is the battery, and now starting in the early 2000s when Tesla started,
Yeah.
that was the biggest problem, is producing batteries that are
To
more
do it,
too
yeah.
efficient. And currently now that's their current problem also,
Yeah.
is producing enough batteries for their vehicles.
See, my dream would be like an ideal car that I only have to buy it once, my whole lifetime,
Yeah.
and then I can upgrade it.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
you can put in a little software, and it gets
Well,
updated.
yeah.
You know?
what you're saying is Tesla. That's
Yeah.
I mean, you are describing Tesla.
And like I want the outside frame not to have any dents. You know, like
Yeah.
it's a storm, whatever. You know, you feel safe, and the range is another thing too. Like I like traveling long distance, so
Right.
if you could give me those three things.
Yeah.
you
So
know.
the only thing they're not delivering is the range. Well, I mean, they're delivering 500-mile range, but
That's a lot, yeah.
That's the $70,000.
It's less the fear, like it's a fear. Oh, what's gonna happen? Where am I gonna go to charge it next?
Right,
Or, especially if you go in like a small town somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you could always charge it from a 240 volt. I mean, 240 volts not uncommon. It's the same one that you plug your dryer into.
Oh, okay, in your house or
Yeah.
something.
But yeah. So you're describing Tesla, and the only thing they're
Yeah.
not delivering is the range.
Yeah.
But I mean, their battery technology is years ahead of their competition. So
Yeah.
wait a couple of years, their battery technology will get there.
So what are they using for the battery?
They're using lithium-ion batteries, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, so lithium-ion batteries, there's different ways to manufacture it,
Mhm.
and different combinations of the material inside.
Yeah.
So they're researching on what type of materials to use to
Yeah.
make the lithium-ion batteries,
Yeah.
and how much and what percentage. And it's like you just tweak a percentage of one material versus another
Yeah.
could dramatically change how much power, how much charge you could get out of their
Okay.
batteries.
Oh, I see.
So their batteries are, I mean, you could look it up. Their batteries are light years, well, not light years. They're probably like 3 to 5 years ahead of their competition,
Yeah.
and that's the key. The key is the battery,
Yeah.
and that's the most difficult part. But yeah. So everything you're describing
Yeah.
and if you want a car that actually gets better after
Yeah.
you buy it,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a Tesla is.
Yeah.
They just update the software, and
Yeah.
and before the self-driving, the auto driving did this, now they
Mhm.
improve it. They improve like the way things that, like the lights, anything about the vehicle
Yeah.
can be updated with the software.
Yeah, I wish they had like some two battery system or something. Like you use it, one of it runs out, and you put another one in, and
Swap out your battery. Well,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
battery is
it's pretty huge, right? Yeah, but anyway, that's another
right.
topic.
Yeah. So, let us know what you think about electric vehicles. Tesla, is it the future? Do you think it will be able to overtake the market?
Yeah,
Currently, I mean, it's not really overtaking the market, but everyone is now, it seems like every manufacturer is getting into the EV
yeah,
game.
yeah. All right, see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you. Bye.